Rules for tonight, I encourage you to be empathetic, respectful, and solution-oriented. Place your question in the chat and hold for the end. We want to defer to the perspectives of current Caribbean residents and regional natives. So, if you're, grew up in the US or Canada, or you haven't lived in the region for a long time, just try to assume that the folks who are on the ground probably have a little bit better of an idea than we do. And we encourage you to make room. So try and keep your comments and questions brief if possible. That allows for us to kind of just get through a lot of different perspectives. The conversation is being recorded. We encourage you to follow Beyond the Beach and our panelists online. We ask that you pass along the information you receive about these 3 companies to at least 3 people in your personal or professional network. So again, it could be a direct message, it could be a tweet, it could be a Facebook post, a LinkedIn post, just letting them know, what you learned tonight. So you may be asking, what is Beyond the Beach? We are a micro-lending collective dedicated to providing financing for small businesses in the Caribbean region. To date, we've done a little bit over $12,000 US in terms of loans, microloans, and in grants. So it's just a small group of us using primarily kiva.org, but we also have used a platform in Jamaica called Farm Credibly. Our goal is to assist members of the Caribbean diaspora in contributing to the sustainable development of industry and primary production in the region. We study, we lend, and we travel together. So speaking of travel, in Jamaica, this year we got to explore a bit. We visited one of the farms being supported by Farm Credibly. So that was Jamaica for 2022. We don't know where we're going to go for 2023, but that is something that as a group we decide on, we vote on, and figure out where we want to explore and connect as members of the diaspora and folks, who are just passionate about the region. So here's a couple of photos from our trip. So Spencer's on right now tonight. That's him there raising his hand. I'm there in the long black shirt. And then we got to meet some of the team members of the Farm Credibly team. We hung out in Kingston with them and just got to mix and mingle. And that's a very big important part of our work is just building those connections and those links. So if you want to get involved, feel free to get in touch. I'll put my information in the chat. So feel free to reach out if you want to learn more about what we do and how you can get involved. Quick reminder, we are doing an anonymous 5-minute survey of members of the diaspora. So you can make your voice heard and have your perspective be seen. This work was designed by Paige Samuels, who's a consultant and scholar, lives in the region. And this survey helps us to understand and also some of the organizations that we network with to better understand how they can better engage with members of the Caribbean diaspora. So I encourage you to fill that out. There'll be a link given to that after tonight's event. If you registered, you'll get a link to that survey. Some important resources. I encourage you to read anything by Dr. Walter Rodney, the late and great Dr. Walter Rodney, in terms of anything that you take in regarding tech and innovation. Is really good to understand that through a class analysis and understanding how the work that we do, whether you're in Brooklyn or you're in Port of Spain, how that work is affecting the folks who most need the development and the production in the Caribbean region. Tech Beach is a great platform that they have a great website, and they also put on some really cool events, highlighting companies in the region and also innovators, and bringing some really good speakers. The IDB Lab, Inter-American Development Bank, their website has some really good reports and just facts and stats that you can follow. FinTech Islands is another tool and platform that you can follow online. The Global Green Growth Institute, and also Kingston Beta / Silicon Caribe. So our guest for tonight, And feel free to turn on your mic if you want to jump on and just introduce yourself. I'm gonna spotlight these presenters. So we have Paige. Do you want to go first, Paige, and introduce yourself? Right, I can jump to your slide really quickly. I'm sorry, Arianne. Paige isn't on tonight, sorry.
Good night, everybody. I'm Arianne, one of the co-founders of Cropmate. Just a warning, I'm using my cell phone. I'm in Colombia today, using my cell phone. So if I go in and out, it's because I'm roaming.
Did you want to kind of go over the kind of what you all do really quickly?
Sure. My co-founders and I have a product called Cropmate. It is an app and a device combination that helps farmers read their soil so that they can make accurate decisions on what to do to remedy anything that's going on with their soil. We found each other through a program that we did during the pandemic, actually. We did not know each other at the time, but we had signed up for an entrepreneurship certification course through the Organization of American States, the OAS. And we were thrust into a group together, and the project was kind of develop a business that addresses climate change issues. And so we went through the ideation, we went through the design thinking method, came up with the idea, and then after the course finished, we looked at one another and we said, hey, this could actually be a viable business. And so since then, we've been going hard for Cropmate.
Thank you so much. Kevin, did you want to speak for tychon?
Yeah, sure. So thank you very much, Medvis, for the opportunity for being on today's programming. So just for everyone's benefit, my name is Kevin Blake Thomas, one of 3 co-founders at tychon. We are all based here in Port of Spain in Trinidad and Tobago. So tychon, what we do specifically is that we leverage artificial intelligence, AI, to embed shopping experiences into online creator content, user-generated content. And the idea behind that is to help brands drive and increase their sales, help creators introduce new revenue streams into their portfolio, and ultimately help consumers have better online shopping experience. For tychon, we have been around for the past 14 months. One of our notable highlights over that period of time is that we were accepted into the Techstars Accelerator program. We are the first Caribbean founded startup to be part of their 16-year history. So we're really proud about that. And really just sharing the news and creating awareness around that for other fellow startups. So thanks for that.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And then we have Jamaker, Joel and Chris.
Yeah, so we're here. We're a local software development company from Jamaica. We started in about 2017. You guys are hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so we started in about 2017 and we built the app Jamaker, which is basically like an online office. It's supposed to be every business entrepreneur's kind of partner to get themselves in order and online and in front of their customers as easy and painless as possible.
Thank you so much. So we're going to jump into our pitches and demos for tonight. So I'm going to bring on Kevin first to go through his demonstration for tychon. Let's try the slideshow view one more time. All right, are you ready, Kevin?
Yes, I am. Just making sure you're hearing me fine.
Yep, hearing you.
All right, wonderful. So I can just jump right in.
Go ahead. Yep, 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. Digital ads don't work. When the world's largest marketers such as JP Morgan Chase, Procter & Gamble, and Uber combined cut $500 million of their digital ad spend, do you know what was the result? Don't worry, I'll tell you. Zero. There was zero change in their business outcomes. So we can move to the next slide. Today, brands are paying 3 times more to achieve the same results that they were doing back in 2021. And there are 3 primary factors for that. Firstly, ad targeting is down 30% due to increased consumer privacy. Secondly, consumer behavior shows that 82% of consumers are finding ways to avoid ads altogether. And finally, number 3, brands are now losing as much as $29 for every new customer they acquire on social media. The bottom line, digital advertising has changed and we need a new way forward. Next slide. Hi, I'm Kevin, co-founder of tychon, and that's where we come in. Creators are now at the heart of online shopping, and tychon leverages their influencing power on consumers by putting brands into their digital content with our unique AI. But that's not all. Our placements are engaging and shoppable, and that too does three things. Firstly, brands always reach their target audience. Second, consumers' attention is 1.5 times higher with our approach than conventional ads. And thirdly, consumer engagement is 12 times higher, meaning that it drives 28% more conversions. The end result, brands win, creators win, and consumers win. Next slide. So just would like to show you just a quick video of the product and what it can do. Awesome, thank you for that. So last quarter, we built the first version of our core AI and now have begun private beta testing with early adopters. Without activating our marketing strategy to date, we already have 800 brands in pipeline eager to begin using our platform. We are targeting small and medium direct-to-consumer e-commerce brands, and we offer them a SaaS subscription to our platform. Next slide. So we got into this because the market is huge. Our long-term vision is to penetrate 6 major verticals, which when combined represent a $240 billion opportunity. However, our first stop is social media, where we have the most experience and the strongest relationships. Next slide. So you may be wondering, why are we the perfect team to do this? It's really simple. We are data experts, we understand social media, and we know how to build scalable systems. We've grown up profitable businesses in our previous startups and our corporate experience. But most importantly, we know how to drive marketing strategy to attract and acquire quality customers. Next slide. So there's an urgent pain, we have an elegant solution, we have a stellar team and proven traction. If you'd like to be part of the tychon journey, let's chat. Cheers.
Next, we have Cropmate. So Arianne, I believe we're just going to be using this video, and I'll just go ahead and play that for us.
Correct. Thank you, Medvis.
This is Paul. Paul is a small to medium open field farmer who is finding it difficult to maintain his crop health because of increasing changes in the weather brought about by climate change. These changes have also made him unable to manage his water supply efficiently. And all of this uncertainty is making him lose income and making him unable to meet both local and export orders. This is Paul. She represents 4.8 million registered farmers in the Caribbean region. She's on the front line battling food insecurity. Currently, she relies on agricultural extension officers to tell her how she should improve her soil conditions. However, these officers are often unavailable. She also pays exorbitant prices to soil testing labs to find out what is happening with her soil. But when results return, they are often difficult for her to understand. To help Paul and farmers alike, innovative ladies passionate about resolving climate change issues came together. We are farmers like Paul. We are agro-processors relying on farmers like Paul. We are professionals who work with Paul to grow his business. Paul's problem is our problem, and our solution is Cropmate, the talking plant. Cropmate gives the farmer real-time information so that they can maintain the health of their soil and their crop.
Cropmate is a smart farming device that speaks to the farmer, letting them know in real time exactly what their crops need. It's made up of two elements, the soil probe device and the accompanying app that work in tandem to provide the farmer with critical information, empowering him or her to continuously make informed decisions.
Increase water saturation.
Through focus group sessions and in-field testing with farmers in the region, we were able to test our current prototype and validate it. And while all the farmers were eager to use our app and our device, there were some key takeaways, which have now allowed us to improve the accuracy of the information that a farmer will receive from Cropmate. It has also allowed us to ensure that our farmers will receive information on pH and nutrients, NPK nutrients, from our device. And most importantly, we have been able to improve the user experience for both young and aged farmers alike. This has led us to build a business model sustained by three principal revenue streams. Under our standard package, farmers will receive their devices and information on their soil conditions, expected weather, as well as information on how much water can be collected on a daily basis. Our premium package builds on the standard package by offering farmers information on how to improve or remediate their soil and crop health. And it also provides them with access to a regional farming community. Finally, we will receive revenue from Cropmate ads, whereby farmers will receive information on where they could purchase farming inputs such as soil fertilizers or other nutrients which the soil needs. What is our guarantee? Happy farmers, first of all. But Cropmate also foresees revenues in the range of $150,000 in our first year. We expect 60% of that revenue from sales of devices, 10% from our premium packages, and 30% from advertising, and in the future, sales of cloud storage. So what do we ask? Having completed the upgrades based on the feedback received from the farmers, we now would like to secure a producer for our initial inventory as well as the desired packaging. We would also like to complete our IP protection process and then head to our market launch. And so we invite you to join us in the fight to keep Paul and their crops thriving.
Awesome. And then we have going to share the hosting privileges with Joel so he can pitch for Jamaker. 1 second. All right, Joel, want to go ahead and pitch?
You guys seeing my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, all right, great. So as I was saying before, Jamaker is a business office. It's geared towards people who have their personal brands, micro and small businesses, anybody who doesn't really have a strong tech background and want to bring themselves online and in front of their customers. We offer them a whole host of tools from online meeting, planning together, accounting, file sharing. You can get your personalized inbox, your own domain, you can send invoices, you can have management permissions, it's a whole host of stuff that's geared towards people being able to function online, one place, one office, everything is done here. You don't need Slack, you don't need QuickBooks or any other alternatives to kind of manage all different aspects. You can really come here in one place and have this manage you. What we have been working on is to improve our software by adding like an AI assistant to it. A lot of AI stuff have been coming out right now, and I think the major thing about it is just to have like an assistant that can really help you with anything. In the short time we were here, this is like kind of what we were experimenting with. We asked it what is beyond the beach, about, so if you scroll up here, we asked it, tell me about what beyond the beach is. And it did a couple of searches on the internet and gave us a full answer. Beyond the Beach is the organization focusing on promoting entrepreneurship in the Caribbean. And it just kind of gave you an overview of what's available on the internet. And what we want to use this to do is like empower small businesses to have that kind of assistant to help you kind of tell us anything you need to know about their market and their business and what they need to know to kind of help them to kind of understand what they need to do to make their business successful. So that's kind of our main is to kind of impose around the world and a very simple. They don't have to much about how to create their domain and emails and stuff like that. And manage all those moving parts of the company. So this is our team, myself, Chris, and we have a customer service person, Victoria, and a couple other support staff that help us with design and customer service as well. So that is Jamaker and how we are. Hello? Not hearing anybody. Maybe it's you're muted.
Yeah, would you like to go ahead and share back the screen, the hosting privilege with me?
Yes. How do I do that?
I have to, here, 1 second, I'll reclaim the host from you. Okay. My host now. Okay, cool. Let me reclaim the host from you. So just accept it. Okay, cool. All right, so now we're going to get on with our panel discussion. We have a few questions for the founders. I will encourage you that if you are in the States and you're curious into one or states, you're in the region, you're one of the Caribbean countries, or you're in Canada, UK, wherever. If you have questions for the founders, feel free to put them in the chat. Also, if you are a founder, feel free to drop your email, any links to any decks that you have. I'm going to send out a subsequent email tomorrow morning to attendees so that they have more of your information, your bios, a lot of the information that you all gave me as we led up to tonight's event. But that information would be handy as well for folks tonight. It may inform some questions they may have later, ask better questions. So the first question for Arianne, Kevin, and Joel is, tell the audience, where is your product and management team are geographically located? Very briefly. So feel free to take the first stab at that.
All right, so I'll just jump in. So as I would have shared at tychon, it's a 5-member team. The 3 co-founders are all based in Trinidad and Tobago. We have 2 part-time employees. One is based in California, and the second machine learning engineers based in Pakistan. So we're fully remote and dispersed team.
Awesome. Arianne?
I am from and living in the Bahamas. 2 of my co-founders, Heidi Constantine Felix and Linnell Malzer, they're both located in St. Lucia. And our 4th co-founder, Darlene Smart, she is actually located in Trinidad and Tobago specifically.
Awesome. And Joel?
We're based in Jamaica. Our team is Jamaicans with roots in Trinidad and the US. So we do want to extend our markets in those directions as well.
Awesome. And I actually I've gotten to meet Joel twice in Kingston, actually. So if you look back at that picture from the slideshow, you'll see him in the photo, actually. So that was pretty cool. So for Cropmate, Arianne, you and your 3 co-founders have used design thinking principles to develop minimal viable products for your company. Where did you learn this approach to entrepreneurship, and how is it still helping you to get your product to market for retail?
Thanks for that question. So each of us actually are entrepreneurs in our own right. We each have our own separate companies, but when we signed up for the OAS certification course, the basis of that course was actually teaching us design thinking. And so through that course, we learned design thinking. And I think one of the things that we have been putting in practice with our business since then is always going back to the target consumer. So the way that we actually came up with the idea was doing a lot of research on our target consumer, but also speaking with them, listening to the things they weren't really saying. So, they would tell us about the problems they were having. And when we came up with a solution to the problem they were having, we went back to them and asked them, hey, does this really solve your problem? And they would tell us yes, but, and then give us more information. And so we continuously go back to the farmers. We have quite a number of farmers that we speak with constantly. Whenever we change something with the device or the app, we go back to them, ask them to utilize both the app and the device and give us feedback along the way. So that's one of the things that we continuously try to do, go back to our target consumer and let them help us create something that works for them.
Awesome, thank you. This question is for Jamaker and Joel. Do you feel your headquarter location being in Jamaica directly affects your approach to Jamaker's product development? And if it does, are you looking to acquire customers primarily in the Caribbean, Latin America, Africa, and Asia, or are you equally interested in customers located in North America and Europe?
I would definitely say it makes us more focused on the Caribbean and Jamaican market and just African American and African market in general. I think our goal is to really have a software company to build the Jamaican landscape and just the Caribbean landscape digitally, because we feel like we're far behind and not much people cater to our market. So our entire goal as a software development company and as an extension why we build this software is to kind of empower people like us. So I think it definitely does impact how we operate and what we go into developing next to kind of better serve those markets.
And just as a follow-up, what would you say, and maybe it's something that you guys can each touch on, is what's been your favorite part? Because I'm sure you all have been to Canada, the States, the UK, possibly, and other parts of the world. What has been your favorite part about staying in the Caribbean and developing your company in the region? What's your one thing that's like, man, I'm really glad that we've stayed here and built this company here for now?
Yeah.
Any of you guys can jump in.
Okay, hi guys, I'm Chris, so I'm Joel's partner. Like the question is, why staying in Jamaica, and what's the benefit? To me, we want to build a big global business, of course, right? But I feel like on our islands we have the benefit of all types of audiences and all types of needs being in close proximity to each other. So we have an opportunity to learn from those, that availability of experiences, different experiences, and learn how to serve all those people. And then once we're able to serve all those people, I feel like we'll be able to transfer a lot of that knowledge when we try to go into new markets, because we would have known how to serve those who are tech savvy, those who've never picked up a phone in their life, type of thing. So because of the scope of what we're trying to do, and we want to uplift the space, and that's what the whole tool is about. So it's really, it feels like a healthy working experience. We have a lot of people who need help, and we learn a lot by being in that space, being in close contact with the people who have real challenges. And we think there's a lot more people around the world with the same problem. So we can scale, and it's tech. So it's that works in our favor.
Thanks, Chris. Kevin or Arianne, did you guys want to jump in on that as well, or no worries if you don't?
Honestly, I would echo what Chris said. Just being in the space, there are a lot of people around us who are extremely innovative and creative because they have had to be. Some people may not have easy access to technology, easy access to funding, and so they've had to be creative in the ways that they solve problems. And so these are the people that we are working with to create Cropmate. And so it's really interesting to see people from so many different backgrounds be able to help us create a product that solves problems for farmers. So just echoing what Chris said, it's a space where there's a lot of creativity and innovation coming out of us having, to be creative and innovative like all of our lives.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
so-
Kevin, aside from the amazing food, weather in Trinidad, what else are the perks of building a company in Trinidad and Tobago?
So just off of the top of my head, I go back to the definition of, or what I call the definition of an entrepreneur, really someone who's trying to create the impossible with limited to no resources. And I think really looking into your backyard is that first step where there's lots of talent, lots of folks who are experiencing similar challenges, difficulties, problems like yourself, where you get that immediate test pool. So for us, we saw the Caribbean as that initial test market for us to validate some of the assumptions that we had before we taking our goals and our ambitions to new territories and broader territories. So for us is really being able to leverage the relationships that we have professionally, socially, and things like that, tapping into that as a first step and a first port for us to be able to get that thumbs up that, yeah, we are doing things right. People are understanding what we're talking about. It's solving that need. They want more of the solution that we're offering.
Awesome. And Kevin, the next question is for you with tychon. Your team members are located in 3 different countries, from what I understand. Did you and your co-founders develop an international team out of necessity, or was it important to you that your co-founders, was it important to you and your co-founders that your team have non-native Caribbean perspectives involved in the engineering of your product? What has been the value of having this international component to your team?
So I would sum that up in one word: diversity. And I think diversity of experience, diversity of background, diversity of skill and thought, all of those things are important. At the end of the day, the goal and the ambition is to position this product globally, and we want to ensure that we are factoring so many different dimensions. For us, one of the key words that's important for quality and success is authenticity. Ensuring how we are placing products, who we are aligning with products, ensuring that their values. And the best way to do that and infuse that is ensuring that the team, the culture behind the team that is building this thing is built on that foundation at the end of the day. So for us, it was an intentional step that we had different representation on the team. And I think that has only been a strength for us in being able to accomplish what we have accomplished to date so far.
Just as a little quick follow-up, I got to meet your co-founder, one of your co-founders, Raw, and it was so funny. He caught me with our call, and I was in the middle of a snowstorm here in Detroit. I just got back from Barbados, and he's like showing me his like amazing backyard in Trinidad with the sun. But I know both of you have been able to spend a lot of go back and forth between the U.S. and Trinidad and Tobago. But you recently had a really cool event in Trinidad with hosting a space for other entrepreneurs in Trinidad and Tobago, and presumably from other parts of the Caribbean. Would you want to just very quickly tell us a little bit about that event that you all had the privilege of hosting?
Yeah, certainly. So thanks for the opportunity. So that event was held on March 1st. The name of the event is Tychon Tech Talks, our inaugural Tychon Tech Talks event. So we had about 20 days to pull this thing off of the ground. Happy to report and happy to say that it was immense success. So what I guess the immediate question in everyone's mind is, what was the impetus? What was the reason behind that? So for us as a Caribbean startup company, and I'm sure my other founders on the call can attest to this, it's a difficult journey that you need to go through. And the thesis behind all of this is access to talent is equally distributed, but access to opportunity isn't. And for us on our journey, we have made every mistake, had every difficulty that we went through. But over the past 2 quarters, we had immense success. And for us, we believe that we can provide help and assistance and give back today rather than waiting to do that tomorrow or later down the road. So that was really the main driver behind Tychon Tech Talks, and that will continue to be the thesis behind it and the purpose for it, because we want to be able to open as many doors as possible, start many conversations, and really bring about a sense of transformation that moves the startup community throughout the Caribbean much further, so that more founders find success and are able to get further in a shorter period of time.
Thank you so much for that recap. We have leaders like Prime Minister Motley, and also I think the Prime Minister in Antigua are trying to work on stronger links. Gaston Brown trying to build stronger links between the Caribbean and Africa. You're the Prime Minister or President in Guyana is also building stronger links between the Caribbean and India, and presumably other parts of South Asia. So, you know, I think, yes, maybe you want you want to build customer base in Atlanta and Miami, but you also may be building customer bases in cities like Accra, Ghana, and also maybe in parts of, you know, Bangalore, India as well, and building those relationships in Nairobi and stuff as well. So the folks here on this call, folks, they're not just ideas. These are companies with real products that are being developed, that are developing market share. So definitely keep looking into what they're doing. And again, spread the word. It's a tweet, it's a direct message. It's you know, forwarding an email to people at your company saying, hey, got to sit on this talk last night. Met some really impressive founders who have some really cool products that can help a lot of people. So the next question is for all of you. Think of a serious problem that your company faces, and maybe other startups in the Caribbean, whether it's in your particular country or just regionally that they face. So when you name that hurdle, I want you to think, is this a hurdle that a government agency, stakeholders, or just general leadership in the Caribbean? Name that hurdle, and do you think it could be reasonably solved within, or think of a hurdle that could be reasonably solved within a year, right? So it could be something as simple as the paperwork process. It's too cumbersome, or setting up a bank account as a corporate entity. It could be done online and more streamlined. Think of something that, with the amount of talent in the region and the technology that's available, this could be done in a year. Or it's just like more convenings, right? Spaces for entrepreneurs, especially folks who have less access to resources to develop their ideas. Some of the programs you all benefited from. So each of you, I want you to name one challenge that you want the leaders in the region to address in a year.
All right, I'll jump in on the deep end of the pool first. Not too sure if it's going to meet the criteria of solving within a year, but I think there are things that could be done within that 12-month window. Certainly depending on the type of startup, the type of business that it is, and how aggressively you'd like to grow. One of the inputs that are going to be required for that is funding and access to capital. And as more and more startups are entering into the space of tech businesses or tech-enabled businesses and understanding that mold, I think that's something that's key and important in terms of folks who would fill the role of investors within the Caribbean community. So ensuring that there is sufficient education. As more of the supply side of the economy is sort of growing with founders, we want that demand side, those folks who want to invest in these companies and make bets on them and see them grow and get them to the next step, ensuring that they understand what this machinery should look like, how it should operate, and then ensuring that there's an environment that motivates them and encourages them to put capital into these businesses. I think ensuring that there's a continuous cycle. I think that's important, because typically a company that wants to scale very quickly, the first port of call that they're going to do is get a company set up, registered in the US, and just start immediately looking at angels, VCs within the US, and really skipping the Caribbean as that starting opportunity. And I think that right there presents an opportunity. It's a gap that needs to be served, and it's a way that we can help preserve wealth and generation within the Caribbean community directly. So certainly a mouthful that I've shared, but I think that's a significant one that needs to be looked at in some form or fashion.
Thank you much. Arianne.
I am going to say that one of the issues that we actually stumbled upon is the lack of data collection that happens around the Caribbean. We've been seeing a lot of countries do, data collection, and then subsequently we cannot find the data as people of the public. So it may be sitting on the shelves in a government office, physically sitting on shelves in government offices. So I think that they can encourage private entities to do a bit more data collection, and they can do so themselves, and then subsequently make the data available and accessible to the rest of us. Because in order to make business decisions, it's good, for us to have that data. And I think it's Kevin who just spoke. he's talking about investors. Investors want to see that data so that they can make good business decisions as well. So I think encouraging more data collection and making it accessible to the rest of us would be great.
Thank you so much. And I think, yeah, if you look at New York City had they have their NYC open data competition, and a lot of it is building, it's helping people to build apps and build solutions through really rigorously collected data. So yeah, I'm not saying that's nowhere in the Caribbean, but to your point, Arianne, it's probably, you know better than me, it's not very accessible, and that will only help people identify more areas of innovation and disruption and also solution creation. Joel and Chris, would you guys like to take a stab at the question? One hurdle that you would love the Jamaican government or CARICOM to address with, or other entities?
I think, I guess the government Jamaica is a really entrepreneurial society, and I think that's why they're known by everyone here. So I think what they would really benefit from is, I think, a better education system in terms of like how to create a business, how to stay compliant, how to just be, as Kevin said, people want investment, how to be attractive for investment, and like how to kind of qualify for these investment things as well. So like really just to kind of have things geared towards teaching people how to be compliant, how to run their business, how to apply for these loans, and how to be successful in doing that as well.
Yeah, shout out to I know in the Barbados has their National Transformation Initiative, and I'm sure other islands are doing other programs to kind of build general business literacy, or just other additional skills for the local population. We can always, all of us always keep improving ourselves. So we're going to wrap up in a second. These next two questions are going to restrict you to 2 sentences. 2 sentences. All right. Great responses so far, though. Thank you. And then we're going to get into questions. So folks, get ready to turn on your mics. So the first one is, in 2 sentences, what is the single most important thing that listeners and our audience should remember about your product? What do you want us to remember about your product in 2 sentences? It's tough, but any takers?
Engaging and shoppable. Engaging and shoppable content. And the second sentence would be shortening the consumer journey from product discovery to checkout and purchase. You can buy in an image, you can buy in a video. That's tychon.
So you're telling me that when the West Indies play South Africa, I can just look at the jersey and click on it and buy it when tychon is really at market, right?
That's the holy grail right now for success in a Caribbean context. Yes, definitely.
I want you to be able to sell it. I want you to be able to sell us some more wins for the West Indies as well. We need a few more.
I'll put that on the roadmap.
I'll take the jersey, though. I'll take the jersey. Arianne.
Sorry, I was trying to respond to a comment in the chat. I'm going to say that Cropmate is the farmer's best friend. It is not here to replace all of the knowledge that farmers have learned over the years from their parents, grandparents, etc. We're not here to replace the cultural remedies. We are just here to assist and be the friend of the farmer, to help them remedy things that are as a result of climate change. So I'm going to go with that. Thanks.
Thank you. Very good. And Joel and Chris.
I would say Jamaica is everyone's best friend. Helps you to, I would say it helps to really achieve your dreams, anything you'd want, your personal assistant, something you can draw on for any information you need or advice to run your business and make it successful. All the tools you need as well.
Awesome. And then lastly, in 2 sentences, we want to think about action. We're people of action, right? What is one action that you want each listener or live attendee to take in order to assist your company after tonight's event? So it could be visiting your website, subscribing, downloading, whatever it may be. What is one action you want everyone, maybe think small, one action for us all to take after tonight's event regarding your company?
All right, I'll jump in first again. Certainly share and spread the word of tychon. You find us on all our on social media. We're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, website. I'll drop it in the chat, share that link around and spread the word of tychon.
Cropmate is actually at the stage where we are about to go to market. And so funding is definitely something that we need in order to make the product a little bit more affordable for the consumers. And so if you come across any grant opportunities, investors, venture capitalists, we're open to, numerous ways of financing our launch. So if you come across anything, please feel free to email us at info@mycropmate.com. But also we want you to support regional innovation, even if that's not Cropmate. So thank you.
Nice. Last but not least, Jamaker, Team Jamaker.
I would say visit our website, create an account, sign up for a premium package, and give us all the feedback you guys can. We really want to make it as useful as possible. So just visit us, check us out, give us all the feedback you need, spread the word. Yeah.
Awesome. And one thing that Beyond the Beach was able to do was that we partnered with Farm Credibly and Jamaker to provide a grant so that two farmers will have a pretty large discount, or one farmer, however they want to split it up, a pretty large discount on Jamaker's invoicing tools and their web building tool, so that this is a farmer who's borrowed from Farm Credibly. So in addition to the loan that they took out, now they have a grant that helps them with some capacity building regarding the management of their produce and the retail of their produce. So we always try as a unit to, get involved and find ways that we use, our gifts and our talents to help and actually kind of sow into the region. So we're going to open it for questions. Spencer, did you want to get us started on those, or I can read as well, but feel free to flag some if you think any of them. Spencer has been like super critical in making Beyond the Beach function. He and I went to school together. He's a great guy, a really good football player, soccer football, of course. All right. Anything from you, Spencer?
So I was looking to see if there's any questions in the chat first, and I don't see any.
Okay. Well, feel free to turn on your microphones and just raise your hands or whatever if you want to speak up.
I guess I had a question then on the funding. So where do you typically look for funding? What are the avenues for getting funding in the Caribbean? Is there like a kind of a venture capitalist kind of ecosystem there? Are you going to start up incubators, things like that? How do you look for funding in the Caribbean?
So I can answer from Cropmate's perspective. We have not seen that there's a venture capitalist ecosystem, but we have gotten funding from bootstrapping, of course, but additionally, we have done a number of accelerator programs as well as grant programs. Our most recent grant that we got was from Compete Caribbean. And so that's the one that we're using to build our prototypes that we're going to be beta testing with 10 farmers across the region.
All right, just kind of quickly following up on that. So for our experience here based in Trinidad, there isn't a VC venture capital ecosystem in play or machinery, anything of that sort. There are high net worth individuals that are available to do funding in certain types and verticals of businesses. What I would say based on my personal experience, I'm not seeing a lot of activity in the tech space just so yet. So that kind of goes back a little bit to the education, understanding how that tech businesses work, being able to really measure and understand the risk associated with it. From a government perspective, there are grants and opportunities through the IDB, through European Union, through different organizations that present themselves on a yearly basis. So that's definitely something that we apply, we look out for, and try to take advantage of as best as possible. But a large part of our efforts in terms of fundraising and doing that as a day-to-day activity, our efforts are focused within the US, building and getting access to networks of angel investors, VCs, and really building that machinery and having a process behind that. So I would say 95 to 98% of our efforts is really focused there. And the remainder is on the smaller opportunities that may present itself from time to time locally.
Awesome. I have one question for you all. In testing your products and building your MVPs and getting feedback from, folks in the region, did you find that quite difficult? I know there may be difference between being in the metropolitan area versus being in a rural area, but was it quite easy to, approach folks and get them to try out your software, your hardware? What's that process been like for folks in terms of engaging and testing things out?
We have had a very good experience with testing out our products with farmers. That may be because we have 2 farmers on our team, and so we just reached out to our networks. But we started out with a very large list of farmers from across the region, and we've continuously kept them in the loop. And so they feel like they're a part of the family and helping us create this. So it's been very easy to get them to comment on it. Every day they're messaging us, asking when it's going to be on the market, when can they buy. So I think that having them from the very beginning and asking their opinion has kind of created this Cropmate family. And so it's been really easy for us to get feedback.
Awesome. So I would echo the same sentiments for us. Certainly, it's not as specialized in terms of who the customer is for us at the end of the day. But what we make it a point to do is reach out and engage with those that we know are going to be part of our system, whether that are going to be brands, small, medium, large, as the case may be, influencers, content creators, infuse them as part of our process. So as we build, as we test, put it in front of them, let them see, let them play around, get some feedback, so that they are part of the process. So when it gets out there, they felt as though that, hey, this thing has been built, I have contributed to this, and that really helps us from the early adopter stage. Another strategy that works for us that we have been able to take advantage of and will continue to do so is using our network. So as I mentioned earlier, we have been part of a Techstars accelerator. So what that means is that there are other founders that you're working with closely and going through a program with. And depending on the verticals that they're in, it may be an opportunity that you can look to your fellow founder in the class and say, hey, I think this is perfectly aligned with what you're doing. You can be a customer for me, or maybe you can be a partner to me given the type of business. And you work with like-minded individuals in that regard, and it actually helps you to build up your network of those early adopters so that you get the product right, you get it in the hands of real users, and you get that feedback that you're looking for.
Awesome. We have some questions in the chat here. Lens, and he's coming to us from Cap Haitien, Haiti. He asks, in the midst of seeking out funding, positioning your product service to market, and the pursuit of growth, to what extent have you been able to focus on your organizational culture to ensure it remains aligned with your mission and vision? Excellent question, Lens.
Yeah, so I think that's the core of who we are. So as part of the decision-making framework that we have as co-founders within the organization, it's not just about yes or no, it's is it going to help us hit that revenue goal that we're looking for at the end of the day. We want to ensure that we remain good people at the end of the day, good human beings. And all of that is really infused as part of the culture, part of the organization. And we want to show that we are attracting like-minded, similar folks that could ascribe to those values. And then that translates itself into the product and the customers that we're going to be working on onboarding. So for us, that's key. As part of the recruitment process, we have a step where we evaluate and ensure that there's perfect fit and alignment. So the folks who are coming in through the front door, they are checking the box in terms of culture and values and alignment as good human beings themselves.
Very good, thank you. Question from Ben. Ben, feel free to clarify the question a little bit too. Yes, how easy/difficult is it to find tech workers in the area? Do you find yourself outsourcing the majority of it? And when you say tech, I'm guessing you're meaning the programming, the software programming, and maybe some like data programming as well, like machine learning stuff. Is that what you meant, Ben? I guess. Yeah, so he meant the software engineering fields. Yeah. Thank you, Ben.
For Cropmate, it's been very easy. We've worked with the same teams from the very beginning when we were doing the actual OAS certification course. So before we even thought of it being a business and it was just a project for the class, we've been working with the same software engineer. We actually utilized a company out of Jamaica to create the first MVP of the device itself. We're now using a company in St. Lucia that is modifying that MVP that they created in Jamaica. And so it's been very easy for us to find people to work with. Our UX UI designer is, she's of Jamaican descent and lives in the US, and she would be the only person that we're working with that's outside of the region. But we're considering her Caribbean because, she's of Jamaican descent.
And you, Kevin?
So for tychon, it's a little bit different in that what's important for us from day one is that the product was being built in-house. So it's not a case that we contract a third party to do any development. So we are looking to onboard and hire and grow an engineering team, a talented team, wherever they may be based. Certainly our first port of call is tapping into the Trinidad market. There's a budding and growing space of individuals focused in data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence coming out of the universities. So certainly we tap into those resources as a first step. But really and truly, as I mentioned earlier, the ambitions are global. We want diversity of experience and background. We want folks who are smarter than us as part of the team. So we also do look outside in terms of who really meet that fit, meet that mold, checking the box of culture, checking the box of experience, and really having that entrepreneurial spirit of being part of the journey for us. And what I've seen is that having someone who is part of the team and part of that entrepreneurial step, the quality of the work and the output and the engagement is certainly different from just having a hired gun who comes in, meets a specification, works for a specific number of hours, and they walk away from it at the end of the day. There's that level of detachment, and we think it needs to be, you need to be personal with the product that we are building at the end of the day.
Awesome. Well, we have one more question actually. Sabrina from she asked for Arianne, what's one thing the farmers are enjoying most about the product so far? What data or insights are they excited about seeing as a consequence of using the app?
I think one of the things they're most excited about is something that Heidi mentioned in our pitch, and that is being able to easily access the soil nutrient information. Previously, they would have to gather some soil, send it to a lab that sends them back some information that's written in what they would call gibberish. So they don't understand what the lab is telling them, how to remediate any issues. And so with the Cropmate app and Device Duo, they're able to get this information in plain, unambiguous language. And so they're really excited about having that at their fingertips.
Awesome. And really quickly, Kevin, what's been what's been the best piece of feedback you've gotten from clients who've used your AI tool?
I think folks just get the concept, they get the idea, they see the value. And it's something that they definitely would like to utilize as part of their marketing mix and the activities that they're going out. They definitely understand that influencer marketing is a huge drive. They may not be doing much of it today, but they're going to see themselves investing more and more into it. And tychon, being Caribbean founded, is certainly that first step. They want to show their support, infuse modern technology into their processes that they're doing so that they can reach new audiences, the younger audiences that are leveraging these types of solutions as part of their discovery of products and brands.
Awesome. I want to thank you, Arianne, Kevin, and also Joel and Chris for making time to join us. I know you guys are very busy building a company, and sleep is always of utmost importance. And I know you, being in Colombia, I know there's lots of awesome places to visit and tasty food to try. So I'm glad that you jumped on the camera with us, Arianne, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your vacation. Folks, I'm going to send out a recording tomorrow morning, as well as the biographies and also links and stuff like that to these firms. I'm going to ask that you all, again, 3 people, forward, DM, post on social media about what you've learned here tonight. And if you can go deeper than that with these companies, definitely reach out to them. But just, again, just start small and then go from there. Also, definitely feel free. We invite you to complete the Caribbean Diaspora Survey. Whether you don't feel that connected to the region or you feel very connected to the region, we want to hear from you. We want to learn about your experiences, your interests. Just know that this is a very big planet and a very big globe. And we want you to feel connected to it, especially if it's whether it's a piece of heritage or it's a passion. Maybe you don't have any Caribbean background at all, but it's a part of the world that you're super keen on, that you find the people to be talented, to be full of potential, and that you want to try to serve or be of use in some way. From here, I encourage you to keep learning. Check out the resources that we put in the slideshow. Those will also be sent out to you post-event. And as I said, read anything by Dr. Watarani. There are other thinkers out there as well. We're talking about sustainable development and how does the Caribbean become a region that is self-sustaining, is self-determined, all right, and that is constantly producing products that is necessary locally, but also consumed globally. With that, I wish you all a great evening. I don't think we have any more questions. So thank you for joining us, folks, and have a great night. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Medvis.
All right,
Medvis, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us, guys.
take care. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.